Hello and welcome. We have with us Dr. Manish Manan. He's the HOD Pediatrics and Neonatology, Paras Hospitals, Gurgaon. And, compared to last year, when we saw the first wave of the COVID-19 pandemic, we've seen that this year, the second wave, more and more children are getting affected. And obviously, parents have many questions. A lot of things are going unanswered and they're worried as well. Thank you so much, Dr. Manish, for joining us today.
Thank you.
The first thing which I would like to ask you, I think as a parent, we've seen more and more kids have got affected in the second wave. Why do you think this really happened?
Thank you. So firstly, I want to make 2 points clear. In the first wave, the number of tests which were done, they were less compared to the number of tests which were done in the second wave. In the first wave, you required a doctor's prescription to do the test. In the second wave, anybody could go and get the test done. So I think the testing was high in the second wave, number one. Yes, the number of children who were infected in the second wave was also high compared to that in the first wave throughout the world. However, the symptoms in children continued to be mild as it was in the first wave. And I would say more than 50% of the times, the parents didn't even come to know when their child got COVID. They got it and just got okay. I know of a number of families wherein the parents had COVID, they got themselves tested, the child was not tested at all. And later on, we came to know that child also had COVID by doing the COVID antibodies. Yes, a very small fraction of them did get critical illness. We had to admit only 2 kids out of the 300 which I had seen in the past 2 months, and they also got okay and went home. So probably the mutation, the Delta variant, which was there, more prevalent in the second wave, was responsible for higher rate of infection in the younger age group. That's what I feel. But thankfully, the symptomatology was as mild as it was probably in the first wave in the children, in the pediatric age group.
Okay, so another thing, which you're saying, like many times we've checked that the child, maybe was asymptomatic or got to know later. It's also observed, like in many families, we've seen that the child may be a carrier and then, the family has got it. So yes, they've also been a reason for infection.
Yes, that's true. So they have been a reason for infection. They have been asymptomatic carriers as well. So themselves, they don't get infected. That's the reason why we used to say in the first wave, keep the children who are infected away from the seniors in the family. I want to bring out, one thing very important. Many people asked me this time, many parents asked me that if the child is getting very mild infection, why at all do we need to test? We'll presume he is positive and then, isolate him. We have seen a lot of cases of MIS-C, post-COVID sequel.
Yeah, in fact, yes. Yeah.
So that is what we need to be careful about. So that's a worrying thing. Child getting COVID is not as serious an issue, at least till now, especially the younger kids. So, and yes, so we need to test more. Whenever there is a suspicion test, at least whether the
child is, yes. The child. So you just mentioned, Dr. Manish, about MIS, and we've heard about it, but now it's suddenly become common, especially kids who had COVID, they've been exposed to it. There have been cases where a child gets. So can you just tell us in brief the symptoms and what parents should really know what MIS is and when to take appropriate action?
So MIS-C is multi-system inflammatory syndrome in children. That is what C stands for. There is an entity called as MIS-C, which is seen in adults too, but MIS-C is more common. You'll be surprised to know of about 10, 12 kids who we admitted in the last 1 month. They were all post-COVID. They had positive COVID antibodies. None of the parents knew when the child got COVID. So the disease itself was so mild in them that they didn't even come to know. But yes, the sequel. So this is a hyperimmune response which happens in the body, wherein there is an inflammatory response which affects almost all systems, from liver to all the systems, including the heart, kidneys, even the brain. At times it can cause encephalopathy also, and in some children it can cause myocarditis also. About 2 to 8 weeks from the disease, this can happen. Important features, let me tell you. So any child who has a high-grade fever of more than 3 days, number one. Okay. Any other possible cause of that fever is not explainable. Number two, child may have rash. That's a common feature. So any child with rash we should think of. Thirdly, any child who has had COVID or who has even been exposed to a case of COVID, which means a family who has had COVID. And in them, if you see a child who's got high-grade fever and rash, that should be the suspicion. And when we do certain blood tests, we say, the acute phase reactants, what we call as CRP and D dimers, they are high. And in some children, heart is affected. And if we delay, the child can land up in the emergency in a state of shock. with the cardiac involvement or congestive cardiac failure. So my advice to all parents is, in this season, fever, please consult your pediatrician. Don't wait. Earlier, I used to say, wait for 2 days, 3 days, take paracetamol,
Yes.
watch for any new symptoms.
Mhm.
Now I'm saying, don't wait. At least in the next 2 to 3 months, at least be very, very cautious. And we should keep this in mind.
एंड जस्ट आपने जैसे बताया कि कितने दिनों बाद ये वॉच आउट कितने दिनों तक करना है, जैसे कोविड अगर बच्चा रिकवर किया कर लेता है, MIS के लिए अगर कोई सिम्टम हो या फीवर आए तो कितना वो पीरियड क्या है?
2 महीने, 2 months, 2 महीने तक ध्यान रखना है हमें.
तो 2 महीने में अगर बच्चे को फीवर आए तो यू शुड टेक केयर.
You should take, हाँ, बाद में भी रखना, लेकिन 2 महीने के अंदर आए तो बहुत ज्यादा ध्यान रखना है. So think, so unless proved otherwise, think of this situation.
Okay. So we're getting a lot of questions, Dr. Manish. The first thing Anulekha Nanda Rao is asking: do children with asthma get sicker from COVID-19 and have more serious symptoms if they are infected?
So any human being who has an underlying comorbidity, whether it's bronchitis or bronchial asthma or any acute exacerbation of anything that can increase the morbidity of the lung. So bronchial asthma is one of those. Whether it is influenza or COVID or a pneumococcal pneumonia, because there is an underlying disease which can cause bronchospasm, which can increase. So, that may add on to the severity of the respiratory system if the system gets affected. Again, the number of kids having respiratory system getting affected and requiring a CT scan and all those things is much less. So it's not necessary in, true sense. But yes, should there be a situation, especially in elder children, wherein the respiratory system has got affected, the CT score is high in them with bronchial asthma, that then acts like a comorbidity. So we need to be cautious. So I would, suggest, these mothers, keep your child on regular inhalers, which the child has been having. We don't want an exacerbation, and take the flu shots and the regular preventive medications which have been prescribed by your pediatrician.
Okay. So in fact, the next question, I will come back to the flu shots because that is also something which is important to know. Monica Sidhu is asking, children are cooped up in the house. It's only the elders in the family, who are anyway going out for essential things. Parallelly, elders are being vaccinated, which means adults are getting some sort of immunity. So why is it being said that the third wave of COVID might affect children more? Because there's a lot of anticipation. कहा जा रहा है कि third wave में बच्चे ज़्यादा affect होंगे.
So, this was a statement which was made by a virologist at the peak of the second wave, that kids may be affected. And the reason why that statement was made, it was actually again repeated by the scientific advisor of the country. The probable thought was that probably because the kids don't get vaccinated, hence, it may be that kids may get more affected, but there is no scientific evidence behind this. I do not agree with this statement. Dr. Jacob John, he's a leading virologist of the country. Today, his article has come in the Times of India. He has explained it very clearly. He said the Delta variant, which was there, now we have the Delta plus. Across Europe or America, wherever you go, we have not seen any evidence of, we may get waves, we may get third wave, fourth wave, fifth wave, we may get smaller waves, but a wave which will particularly affect kids, there is no scientific or statistical evidence behind this. Personally speaking, I do not agree with this statement. So, आप मुझसे पूछो, मैं बोलूँगा ठीक है, we should be prepared for it.
Yes.
If it happens, but I don't think that
we should be prepared, but we should not create panic. I mean, of course,
we should not create panic, and there is no evidence or statistical this thing to say that kids will be more affected. So, it has also been clarified by the Indian Academy of Pediatrics and also been clarified by Dr. Randeep Guleria, the director of AIIMS. So many people in the country have clarified this thing. A statement was made and a hype was created. I don't think the panic situation should persist now. We should get out of it now.
Chalo, keeping fingers crossed. I mean, children are, they have to be the safest. So there's another question. Nikshubha Mishra पूछ रहे हैं, what precautions do we need to take for kids below 10 years? And also, is there any vaccine advisable for kids below 10 years?
So this question has been asked so many times by so many parents, what precautions you should take for a child below 10 years. My first answer is keep your child fit, keep his immunity strong, give him good diet, lot of vegetables, lot of fruits, lot of fluids. And also physical exercise is important. You can't just, keep your child inside the house and say, bahar nahi jana, you'll fall sick. He should go out, he should run, he should stay fit. So fitness is the first thing. Yes, follow COVID protocols when you're going to a crowded place, when you're going. Wash your hands repeatedly. When it comes to repeated washing of hands, I would always advise use soap and water rather than sanitizers. So many kids, so many people have seen this, sanitize their hands and then eat food, which is a wrong thing to do. So good diet, good exercise, and a positive state of mind. Please stop watching news with your kids, very often.
It gets depressing for them.
Especially that news when they say, "Abhi bahut khatra aa raha hai, bachon ki lehar," the way they say, that creates that kind of a psyche at home and a depressing atmosphere.
Yes.
It gets onto your immunity. So create a positive atmosphere, keep the atmosphere light. We should take precautions, not create panic. And yes, diet and physical exercise, these are the two things, and keep the immunity strong. And whenever your child falls ill, take a consult. If you do everything early, trust me, nothing will go wrong. This is
something timely action.
Timely action is a stitch on time saves time. Timely action and a strong body, a strong immune system will, it'll not let the bug disturb the child. Yes.
And I think ये भी आपने बहुत important बात बोली. I think which we all parents should realize that hand washing with soap and water is critical. Sanitizer yes है, पर अगर आप घर पे हैं तो जरूर हाथ हम साबुन से धोएं.
Soap and water से हाँ.
कोई tips की बच्चों को किस तरह, और अभी तो compared to like earlier before the pandemic, it was always difficult telling kids, but आज बच्चे खुद हाथ धोते हैं. Any tips for that, which might be helpful?
So hand, just tell the kids one thing. एक चीज बताओ भाई, मेरा हाथ मेरे face पे touch होने से पहले धुला होना चाहिए. Just one simple thing. Before your hands touch your face and mouth, you wash it with soap and water. If you tell this to everybody, I think 90% of the problem will be sorted out.
Yes.
We touch here, there, and then and then we touch it on the face, wipe the nose, wipe the even ear, eyes. So this is one thing. Sanitizer, I would say leave it to the hospitals. Use soap and water more frequently. All sanitizers, they have some chemicals. Then secondly, कौन सा sanitizer कहाँ बन के आया? There are so many local sanitizers available in the market. You don't know which has what kind of an adverse effect on the skin, and then what kind of germs it may spread on your hands. I don't know, unless it's from a very standard company. We have to be very careful about that.
The product, especially बच्चों को लेके.
Especially बच्चों को लेके, even बड़ों को भी. मेरे से ये क्वेश्चन लोगों ने पूछा था कि भाई बच्चों में ही हो रहा है, इतना हम बच्चों को वैक्सीन क्यों नहीं लगा रहे हैं? अरे सारे बड़े अगर वैक्सीन लगा लें तो बच्चों में आएगा कहाँ से? At least let the adults, let all the adults
be vaccinated. Yeah, so I think vaccinated is the key. Dr. Manish, एक और सवाल आया है जो आप अभी कह रहे थे कि फिजिकल एक्टिविटी बच्चों के लिए बहुत जरूरी है. प्रेरणा झा पूछ रहे हैं, बच्चों के लिए क्या सेफ है पार्क्स में जाना जब कम क्राउड्स में हो, मतलब ताकि उनके एक्सपोजर कम हो, तो क्या बच्चों के लिए सेफ? I think you've answered it, but anything specific?
Not going to the park is not safe at this stage, I would say.
Not going to
the park is not safe. Not playing is not safe. So they should go, they should play, they should indulge in physical activities. There's a lot of data to say about 50% of kids today, because of the lockdown, have had multiple problems, from depression to anxiety to obsessive compulsive neurosis to anger issues to sleep disorders. I have seen so many. The number of psychiatric or psychological problems I have seen in the past few months, I have never seen in the past 10, 12 years. इतना ज्यादा नंबर है. I've had to give medicines to a child as small as 5 years to sleep. Can you imagine that? So this is a very worrying situation. These problems, mental problems, can cause a change in the personality, which can affect the child for life. So we have to be very cautious. We should not overdo things. Follow the precautions, follow the guidelines. Nobody has ever said कि park नहीं भेजना. हमने जब बोलना होता तो we say कि अभी park मत भेजो. But अभी वो situation नहीं, जब भेज सकते हैं भेजो. सुबह सुबह who is there in the park? Child can go run around and come back. So that exercise is very important.
So that exposure is very important. I think that's very, very important. We need
very,
to keep
very
in
important
mind.
To stay physically fit and also for the state of mind of the child.
Yes. In fact, वही अगला सवाल है डॉक्टर मनीष, ये पूछ how to not let COVID be an obstacle for a child's mental and physical growth as they sit home all day.
So this sitting at home all day was during the lockdown period. That period is off now. So that's the reason we say, the children should indulge in physical activities, which is very important for the physical body. You can't, just do some exercise at home at least, but then you can go and run outside. You can do some cycling. Those things can be done. I'm not ready to accept this as a statement, this is the new norm now. No, it is not the new norm. And this is not normal. It's not normal to sit at home. It's not normal to not play. It's not normal to, sit in the front of the screen for such a long time. This is a stopgap. This is abnormal times, and hence abnormal kind of behavior which we are indulging in. So we have to get out of it. Be cautious, but don't overdo or create a panic situation. Ki aise hi karna hai. That's not true. So as the situation changes, you should also change along with that.
And most important, I think, is we need to remember and the precautions. I mean, the protocols of COVID behavior. We need to teach our child that rather than keep them cooped up.
Two things, I've just said two things. Before my hands touch my face, I should wash with soap and water. In a crowded place, I should wear a mask. Distance automatically will be maintained. दो तीन चीजें खाली बतानी है बच्चों को, इतना सीख गए. एंड आई थिंक दिस इज अ हैबिट व्हिच वी कैन फॉलो फॉर एवरी टाइम. किसी का भी हाथ फेस पे टच होने से पहले इफ यू वॉश इट, इट्स सो हाइजीनिक. इट्स अ गुड हैबिट.
जैसे हम लोगों के सवाल ले रहे हैं, हमें काफी व्यूअर्स पूछ रहे हैं. मेरा एक सवाल है कि आई रेड एन आर्टिकल व्हिच सेड कि if kids cannot get vaccinated, at least we can get them flu shots. When should the parents take their kids for the flu shot? Is this the right time, or is it during monsoons? And how effective will that be?
This is a good question, and presently the Center for Disease Control has also, recommended that all kids be given flu shots. And the science behind that is, in Michigan, they had done a retrospective study between February to July 2020, and the data which they collected showed that kids who had received the flu shot, all individuals who had received the flu shot were less susceptible to the infection, number one, and secondly, those who had the infection, even in them, the morbidity and mortality was less. So, this is the data on the basis of which the Michigan data says that, okay, probably it may be helpful. So hence it is recommended. Anyways, we recommend flu shots for all kids up to 5 years, and beyond that, all high-risk individuals should also take flu shot. In the present scenario, I'll recommend all kids to take flu shot. We don't know how much, but yes, same data is there to say that it may be effective.
So it's definitely worth taking that extra precaution. It's not going to harm the child. Yeah.
It's not going to harm. The CDC says very clearly, there is no science to say that flu shot will directly prevent against COVID. Mm-hmm. At least it will prevent against influenza A, which is also a big burden. So that will be protected against. A small data from Michigan says it may, but then that's not adequate enough data. But there is no harm in doing it. Yes, as you just rightly said.
I think we've covered mostly everything from vaccination to, what one needs to do. And that will also help parents understand that it's important for, children to take that physical activity. Just before we go, a last question on any other tip on the immunity, any certain way of food habits, anything like that you would like to say?
The first thing I would like to say to all parents is please stop giving multivitamins rampantly to your child. It is not required. There is no recommendation to say that zinc wala multivitamin or ye or iron aise khilate raho. And the false sense of confidence, that you may get that, with this kind of a multivitamin, my child's immunity will improve. That's not true. The immunity improves with the right kind of diet. And when I say diet, I say divide your plate into 4 parts. 1/4 should be green vegetables without potatoes. 1/4 should be fruits. 1/4 should be carbohydrates. Therein you can include potatoes, and 1/4 should be proteins, where you have egg, non-veg, dal, etc., and milk and milk products outside that. A balanced diet, a good state of mind, good healthy exercise, and lot of fluids. This will create good immunity. You don't have to take any multivitamin, anything of that kind, unless medically indicated.
I think you've really put that very well. I'm sure parents are going to take this, and I hope we can all imbibe this. Thank you so much for giving us your time and sharing this valuable information with us.
Thank you.